Alright, so we're here today on Wildwoods. Tim's has got some nice handicap advantages here, but he's trying to look for his hunt, Verhuver. He's just going on to his hunt, going for the standard spear rush. Got a Greek versus Greek with Verhuver as the green player. Tim's is the pink player. Tim's will have boosted build and train time here. It'll actually tell me. Yeah, it doesn't really show it, but he's already out of food here. So Verhuver gonna go. Oh no, gonna go double storehouse, get hunting dogs. Thought he was potentially going for the barracks there. Tim's will be able to work towards a quicker town centre here, but he's built the storehouse too close to the stone. You want to have it one tile back, just so you can get your villagers around it better. Tim needs to make sure he's continually queuing up these villagers here, because Verhuver is going to pull ahead on villager production. But even with the downtime he's had so far, it is neck and neck so far for Vills, and in fact Tim's is going to be slightly quicker with this next one. He needs to make sure he's queuing them up on time every time if he really wants to take advantage of this handicap he's got. So Verhuver with 4 on the... no, down to 3 on the food now. He's got his age up. Makes sense. Trying to steal a couple of these sheep. Well, Tim's has seen some but not brought them home. Really needs to make sure he's getting more food here. Sorry if I'm giving him a bit too much intel here. Verhuver's got the fastest second TC start. Tim's does only have 4 villagers on his as well versus Verhuver's 7. So Verhuver still going to have the quickest second town centre even with the handicap. Probably want to squeeze in one house just to make sure he can keep building vills through all this. Verhuver getting a quick academy, so I imagine he's getting the research time upgrade to take a quick age 3 to then get the military train time upgrade as well as his 3rd TC as quickly as he can. Because if he's got 3 town centres, he's got 50% faster build production than someone with 2. Because you're building 3 for every 2. So it'll offset the eco advantage that Tim's has got here. So I think that's what Verhuver's intending to do with this opening. Is get philosophy, age up, get AoEO discipline. Maybe even skip philosophy, get AoEO discipline first. Then again, if he's been playing a fair bit of India, he's probably used to spending on an early temple. It's just seeing how quickly you can get this. Not gathering any... Oh, he's gathering a little bit of gold. But only enough to maintain military production here for the time being. So it's a very early academy investment by Verhuver. Hasn't yet seen what Tim's has got here. 26 vills to 25. So Tim's is actually leading an eco count at the moment. I'm impressed, but at the same time, he does have that boost to his train time. And yeah, guys, never interrupt your villagers for more than like 2 seconds. I'm serious. Ideally, even less than that. Until you get to literally 60. And then even then, you only want to like cut there or drip feed to 75. Like cutting before 90 is just... It's really whack unless you're really confident you're going to fight with bigger army and just end the game or deal that much damage that your opponent can never match you on army size for the rest of the game. Tim's is adding a fair bit of production here, double range, barracks, the stables. Verhuver's really only got barracks and range at this point. So Tim's eco, he's in a good spot here, but the longer this game goes on, I think the more experience is going to benefit Verhuver. He's going to get philosophy, give him really quick age up times, really quick upgrade times in general, quicker than, you know, Tim's without philosophy, but with the train time advantage of the handicap. And yeah, if you can get the quick age 3, have just enough to survive till then, get to that 3rd town center, and then he can undo the effects of the handicap, basically. This experience is going to prevent him from doing things like this, where he's just got, you know, villagers sitting too long after they finish up on a resource. Whereas it'll take Tim's a couple more seconds to realise, and I mean, if he gets in a fight, he probably won't realise for a minute or two even. Whereas the higher levels of play, like your idlers, you're instantly going to have them at work. And I mean, this is a safe pick, but at the same time, this would be closer. If he was willing to risk a fight, going there with his villagers already here, or even just going back on berries if he wants to go for a safe option. This is kind of good in the long run though, because I mean, if he put that any closer to the gold, it would be really good double up for gathering. So Tim's is now starting to lag on army and eco a little bit. Verhuver pulling ahead in population. He's just maintaining a little bit more in the way of production. Tim's has got plenty of production facilities, but a little bit too much gold, not quite enough food. Possibly even do with a couple more wood gatherers, and he can really pump out a lot of military. There's no point in having the double range if you're not actually using it, because his opponent hasn't yet got any saris. There's no stables here for Verhuver, so if Tim's can just flood the map with a lot of Toxotes, and with his handicap he'll be training these at pretty much the same train time Persian bowmen are at. So even with 2 ranges you can really flood the map with a lot of early game ranged. Verhuver's committing to a 3rd range and still no stables at this stage. Tim's is going age 3 quicker than Verhuver is, and this is a little bit surprising to me. I would have thought if he's going for philosophy so quickly, he'd want to take advantage of the quick age up. Because what, age 2 takes 45 sec, and then age 3 takes 75, so it goes from taking 3 villages worth of train time in age 2 It took it to age 2 to taking what? 6 villages worth? No, 5 villages worth. So philosophy would really undo that, and it only, you know, it basically saves you a villager by taking that, or a villager and a half even. Sari's raids here by Tim's. There's no stables at all yet for Verhuver, but he's feeling very safe, very confident. The Sari's focusing down the spears instead of the Tox. Even though that's a losing fight there, at least they'd be able to get a kill or two if they were hitting the Tox first. And Tim's just got his army all split up in weird places. Verhuver's starting to really mass up a scary army at this stage, and Tim's is just not spending enough now. He does have these ridiculously good gather rates. Everything's gathering like it's already got age 4 upgrades. Third TC for Tim's. Verhuver's got a lot of his army over here. If he pushes out, he's going to interrupt this. For now, he's just playing it safe. Start walling himself in. Verhuver, always such a defensive player. Tim's is not going to be able to engage in that particularly easy, and let's maintain a bit of production here. He could definitely be on 105 like 105 population right now. He's just not training anything. Trying to go for the harass, but he's going to get a few villages out of this as well. So Tim's is really quite crafty with these little army raids that get a couple of kills. But at the same time, he needs to make sure he's still training behind them. Get as much stuff as possible. Like, he's got all these resources in the bank, and right now he's just not training. Oh, Tim's, no. Why would you bring the villagers over? What are you doing? You've been doing so well. There we go. He's got plenty of production buildings, but he's just not training enough. I can actually see what he's got queued here. I can't actually queue things up for him though, unfortunately. Archon mode. Archon mode when? There's a lot of hypers in the mix there. Which is dangerous because there's a lot of Toxotes. I mean, there's plenty of spears. This is a tough comp to fight. Like, this is uncomfortable, but if you've got Sari Tox, in theory you should still win that. But Verhuver's capped out on population for age 2. He's got his age 3 TC now. Be able to start producing more there. Start getting some caravans. Walling this in. Very defensive. This is just typical Verhuver or Ares versus someone they're confident against. So defensive. I'll get to late game before you and be better defended and be better upgraded, bro. Don't worry about it. Tim's to 120 pop now. Come on, man, we've got to get you to 180. I will apologise to him after the game if I've been backseating him a bit hard. I don't mean to. I'm trying to give him the tips. It's just that he had so much resources and he's building more military buildings but not using the ones he's got. It's like, man, if Verhuver pushes you right now and you're on 60 pop and he's on 120, there's just nothing you can do. Neither player is aware of one another here. This is amazing. It's funny, you hear the deer sounds from whichever ones they don't see. Tim's adding a bit more in the way of army, getting some upgrades. Hoover's got all of his age 2 upgrades. Tim's has got both of his armors and his melee damage. In fact, they're pretty even in terms of upgrades, really. But this is good. Tim's is in the position to defend this, I think. Or nearly. He's got to be very careful with the Saris and get a few more of them even. But he's fighting this well. Verhuver is going to lose a lot of tox. He's up in resources. I think he wants to try and get age 4 behind this, but... Ooh, tox wall is very uncomfortable to get to there. And there might be just enough hoplites as well to see this out. It's slightly better than spears because they've got a little bit more in the way of pierce armor. Peltus in the mix now for Verhuver. So Tim's, I think if he had a couple more Saris there, he might have been right. But Verhuver just proving to be too strong now. More hypers from Tim's, but really I think he needs more Saris. And just to maintain this food eco. Because he's got plenty of wood. Do a little bit more food and gold. Verhuver, this is a scary push now. Priest's going to be able to top everyone up. So ideally Tim's probably would want to focus the priests down. Because if you can thin them out, kill them all. And then deal whatever damage you can with the town center with whatever's left. At least it can't be healed up immediately. And you just sink a lot of your opponent's gold. Verhuver not struggling for food or wood at this stage. He is, I would say, struggling for gold, but he did actually just spend something to get gold. Just to make sure he could get all of his upgrades. Seems he's not particularly far behind in terms of upgrades, though. He's getting age 3 armory upgrades. Does have champion on everything except his Toxotes. A couple of priests now in the mix. 6 priests. That's actually quite a good number. That's like how many you'd want against like Egyptian or Indian. Man, I'm lazy with priests. I generally get like 2. So Tim's struggling for gold a bit here. His eco 66 vils to 89 for Verhuver. So I think he would want to get a market going soon here. And if he can stay, if he can get to maxed out on pop until Verhuver goes to age 4, you know, you can fight on a very even footing to your opponent. All is not lost. If you can maintain upgrades and then just maintain relatively similar army size, you'd be amazed at what damage you can do or what damage you can hold off from. Something to take fairly smart fights, and Tim's was taking a good engagement there in that fight. I think he just didn't have the numbers, and Verhuver was really confident. I think if Tim's had slightly more there, Verhuver would have probably tried kiting him back through this maze of buildings. It's Prodromos now in the mix here for Verhuver, so Tim's Saris will be in a lot of trouble. At least stay and fight that. He's probably best off just running through as much of Verhuver's base as possible. Being a pest for anything that's not walled up, not protected. Age 4 now for Verhuver. Getting ready to deal the killing blow, I imagine. Tim's 72 vils, but again, not maxed out on population and not training anything. So I understand if he wants to go to age 4 now, but he's best off making sure he can defend as well. Or immediately put whatever villages are closest to a stone mine on stone. If you're gonna hold up your production to try and get age 4, put whatever villages are closest to stone on stone. Don't wait for villages to cross half the map. You know, send these guys onto your gold mine. You've got plenty of gold. Send these guys straight to the stone, because this distance is a hell of a lot shorter than this. Like, you know, it's 4 or 5 times the length. Tim's was holding out on military production there and lost a fight because he was just down on so much army compared to Verhuver. If you can, you know, always save yourself as much time when delaying either eco or army production or even upgrades, then do it. You know, those guys he had just idling there or was pulling away from here, you know, send them to a gold mine or a food, and then send everyone that's close to a stone mine that is on food and gold onto the stone. It's a little bit more heavy on your macro to do it, but you know, it just means you're not going to get wrecked because you've got 4,000 resources in the bank, but you don't have any stone, so you can't spend on age 4, but you're not making any army to defend the army that's pushing into you right now. So Verhuver getting ready to go to age 4 units here. Composite bow, so just making the most value out of his range. Getting Ballista Champion. You can probably look at transitioning to Gastrophedes and getting Gastro Champion, which is a really big upgrade. The attack and movement speed. Is Verhuver properly walled in here? I don't think he is. There's actually a gap there, but I don't think it's become apparent at all. Sorry if I'm being harsh on Tim's, guys. I'm just trying to give people that might not be super versed in PvP a couple more tips on how to approach it, or where, you know, people like Tim's are getting punished relative to more experienced players. Verhuver might even be able to convert a villager or two here. And this is a tough spot for the Saris to get on top of the range. They are going to have to try and basically run over the top of the hoplites. The town centre fire will be really beneficial to Tim's here. And he needs to try and get the toxin. He needs to just make sure he's producing stuff. And hypers, I mean, they're good against spearmen or hoplites, but there's not much else they're actually good for here. Making sure he's getting the Saris, getting the Tox, maybe even getting Prodromos. He will be able to thin out this army eventually, but Verhuver's going to be able to back it up with rams and switch it up and get some... Oh, looks like he's going to go for Hippocons perhaps. Getting horseshoes now. Double ram production from Verhuver is very punishing as well. A lot of military production going down for Tim's. Looks like he will defend against this army though. Verhuver's getting even more caravans here. He's just toying with them at this point. Verhuver getting a lot more stables. Is he going to start Gastro Hippocon? I think he is. Yeah, Hippocon champ, Gastro champ. So I think he's going to go for the age 4 comp. Tim's in the meanwhile is adding more production, getting more barracks. Lost a lot of his stables. He did lose a lot of his production through all that. Yeah. No kidding, Ed doesn't have a lot of production left at all. Tim's plenty in the bank here. He's got a shitload of stone. He can put forts everywhere. If he can get a bit more wood, he can go to age 4. But actually, he's just spent it all on ranges. Okay. I mean, as long as he's getting plenty of wood and gold here, he can make sure he's got a fighting chance. But at the same time, Verhuver is just preparing one of those compositions. Just age 4 units that steamroll everything that's from earlier in the game. Well, not particularly, but if you add in armory upgrade advantages and unit count advantages on top of that, then they definitely do. He's sitting on a ridiculous amount of gold here. 300 gold a trip. It's really starting to add up too. So Hippocons in the mix now. These guys really tanky. Good damage. Just a good late game tank option. Got to tear through these villages pretty quickly. So Tim's is going to back out now. 100 eco pop to 63. So if Tim's can actually fight at 180 pop, he's got a population, well, an army pop advantage. But without age 4, he's still at a big disadvantage. Spearmen aren't going to be able to deal a lot of damage to hoplites. You really need Prodromos. And you don't necessarily need the champion upgrade on them. Hoover, he's going to lose these guys. Massing up Gastras now, and Ballista, and hoplites. So I think this will be a bit of a distraction and a bit of a way to gauge what army Tim's has got. And Tim's has definitely run out of gold at this point. He needs to get a market or several. So he is going to add a market. He probably could do with getting on a gold mine, but it looks like Verhuver is keeping tabs on every gold mine on the map at the moment. Tim's has mined out of all of his gold. Do with making several markets. 1, 2, maybe even add a third. Add your market, Tim. The Hoover's gold is just ridiculous at the moment. He can just buy the wooden food he needs for a wonder. So buy the wood he needs for a wonder. He doesn't even need food. Tim's just cleaning up outposts, watch posts, sorry. Come on, Verhuver, just put the poor man out of his misery. This eco is going to start taking a big hit now. Sari's trying to engage, but they're on their own at the moment. They are just going to get cleaned up. It's a really tough comp to engage into without an age 4 comp of your own. Tim's getting a lot of gold there. I think he sold some food. Caravan's just going to get picked off. He's lost the TC he was going to the caravans with. The Hoover cleaning up Tim's gold gatherers now. Things looking really, really rough for the West Coast Aussie player. without any gold, he can't train anything, so I think Tim's is going to be done for here. Come on, man, just sell some of that food and some of that stone if you're going to try and survive here. He's got a few spearmen, but I don't know how he's going to be able to turn this one around. Verhuver the beast. A lot of resources in the bank there. He probably could have even gone for a wonder. Tim's had a pretty good Vil production there for a lot of that. I mean, obviously, handicap aside, but again, I think it just got to the stage where he was focusing on building more buildings, but really he just needed to add more units, take upgrades, and just think about taking good fights, trying to pressure his opponent. So Verhuver victorious there.